Welcome to Story Route Zero.
This is a podcast where friends gather to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the strange worlds of video games. We often don't know where we're going, but that's half the fun. Come on the journey with us. Hit us up on Twitter at StoryRoute0. You can send us an email at StoryRoute0@gmail.com. That includes questions, concerns, comments, complaints, pet pics. Send us some recipes. Send us some stories about your day. We're going to listen.
Podcast, start your engines. We have liftoff. Let's have a journey.
Just Wild Beat, Communication. That's 2Mix, theme song to Gundam Wing. My name is Matthew Keel. This is episode 76 of Story Route Zero, or 75. 75 of Story Route Zero. Jason didn't audibly correct me. He gave me the head shake, so I'll take it. I've got three friends with me as usual. I mentioned him already. Jason, how are you?
Doing well.
Still loving the new digs, Michaela?
Yes, very much.
Moose has space.
Good. It's comfy.
Cool. Is it cold?
No, not like you think.
Really? Might have to relocate that.
It's quite warm.
Is that just because you peed? No. Okay, so
actually, yes. My spacesuit
I peed
is
and
filled to
farted.
here. Anyways,
this is Story Route Zero, where we don't always talk about bodily functions in space, but we try and talk about video games. But first, how was everybody's weekend? Not everybody at once. Moose gives the thumbs up. Okay, cool. Michaela, how was your weekend? Jason with the thumbs up. Michaela, wavering. I had a pretty good weekend, actually.
nice.
I'm gonna start because I got to hang out with my best friend Jason. He, his wife, and his daughter hung out with us, and the tiny little weirdo named Bagel. We haven't seen them in over a year, but everybody's vaccinated, and
Nice.
we were able to get together, and hopefully, since I'm not working weekends predominantly, we'll be able to do that a little bit more regularly. Sunday is normally our day together, but Reba was on call, so I spent the day watching a bunch of Gundam. And then I realized something that was right in front of me. That the new Gundam movie, I figured out the new Gundam movies tie into the original 3 series, and now I'm just like, okay, so now I have to binge the rest of Zeta, the rest of Double Zeta, and Char's Counterattack, and everything will make sense. Anime's cool, y'all. Also, I finally finished putting my tall geese together from Gundam Wing, and that was a really fun time.
Nice.
Now I gotta figure out which one I'm gonna do next. Other than that, I got to work overnights this week, and I'm all right with it. Oh, and I got a PS5. That comes Wednesday, and I'm really excited.
Almost like a footnote. Oh, and I got
and
those things.
And it was actually that's kind of a funny story because I as many do, trying to acquire a current or a current gen system, I guess we'll call it now.
They are.
We follow the Wario 64s, the cheap ass gamers, the people that will tell us when drops are about to happen. And a drop happened, and I'm like, I'm gonna try it, see what happens. And I was getting no responses from the webpage. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm on the bus. There's probably a few reasons for this. One of them is local ISPs are bad because I'm in America, and 2, it might be a busy time because it was lunchtime rush hour. Anyway, then about 5 minutes later, cheap ass gamer says, I'm hearing Apple Pay works really well. So I'm like, ooh, I should activate the credit card on Apple Pay. So I did that. But then all of that, like, you know how when you do that, it'll send you like a text or an email saying, hey, is this you? Well, that all goes to Reba. So
Reba's like, no. This motherfucker out here buying a PS5.
so I texted Reba, and I'm like, so you're gonna get a text alert about Apple Pay being alerted on a credit card. It is me, and I figure it's probably good that I tell her this, just so she's like, who's activating my card and why?
Yeah.
So she just rapid fires the response, the code, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see if this works, and it worked. So I got a PS5.
Are you a dickhead or a digital?
He's a dickhead.
How long you know me, Jason? How long you know me? Of course.
The only reason I know that is because of our conversation while playing a certain game today. So,
but yes, the PS5 is going to have a dick in this house because I am going to buy at least one game physical, which will be Demon Souls once I'm able to. And yeah, so it did work. I got a PS5. I got the bundle with Ratchet, Sackboy, and Destruction All Stars. And you're sorry, what?
No, the Destruction All Stars.
yeah.
I mean,
2 out of 3.
I got it for free, and it's not worth it.
I mean,
I reviewed it for free.
Somebody sang a song about it.
If it's one of those things where it's like it's a physical edition, I will literally just take the disc and be like, hey, I don't want this.
You know what? Who knows? A couple months from now, they already added bots to the game. All of us get into a party 4 on 4.
Let's open some bots, son.
I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
There are worse games out there.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And it's true.
I mean,
It's very true.
But I will. I'm actually looking really forward to playing Ratchet because that game is really good. And then it also came with 2 DualSense, which
Yeah.
I'll take.
I can't wait to experience the game of the user interface, which you'll spend you can usually platinum that in about 2 hours, but it's like, ooh, oh, look what this does. Ooh.
Getting to know the DualSense with Astro is an experience that's worth having. Don't skip it.
Yeah, I love Astrobot. This is an Astrobot house, very much like the last house I was in was a Sackboy house. Reba loves Astrobot in VR. Every so often she will be like, "Can I play the little robot game?" And I'll be like, "All right, fine, you can play the robot game." And she will play the robot game. And she will play the robot game and have so much fun looking at the little robot, because the little robot is almost as good as giant robots. Who knew? So yeah, that was my weekend. Bagel's hanging out. Apparently, I can see him in the back. Hey, buddy.
Nice.
Everyone's just looking at Bagel, aren't you?
Doing a sniff.
Yeah. He's like, hey, what's up?
So do any of you want to talk weekend, or do we want to just get to it?
Just get to it. I'm fine.
Okay.
Well, quick happy Father's Day to Jason. It was Father's Day weekend.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day, Jason.
Thank you.
Wow, that just reminded me. I called my dad to say happy Father's Day, and he ignored me. Oh well, probably for the best. Anyway, this is a week where we pick our backlog game, if I remember correctly.
Let's talk about what we were playing first before we.
Oh yeah, I thought we were. I'm just waking up. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet, and I'm obviously backwards. So, what have y'all been playing? Somebody else talk. I feel like I've talked a lot.
Played a bunch of stuff. I got 2 platinums. Ratchet and Biomutant.
There you go.
Nice.
Jason
GG,
out here
man.
just out here being a gamer. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
And then they patched Biomutant to increase the level cap and all this crap. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I just saw that article. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm sure they'll be happy about it.
They added this one quality of life thing that I was like, I could have used this during. So when you clear areas, it says area completed, but it doesn't show on the map. It has no bearing on trophies, but like if you're a completionist, you go through and you're like, oh, I found 4 or 5, blah, blah, blah. Now they added like little check marks when you clear it. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That happened to me with Assassin's Creed Origin. They did the same thing. They made the map have little check marks. Do you know how many points there are on the fucking map at Assassin's Creed Origin? And they put it in right after I got the platinum.
I'd be lying if I said I didn't reinstall the game just to see it.
It's so annoying.
Ratchet finished that. That was an easy one. Very enjoyable. I have pointers when you both get into it as to make that even easier. I played 2 basketball games this week. For a non-basketball fan, that's weird.
I know one of them.
I bought NBA 2K21 for $4. Actually,
Sure,
paid
makes
$2.
2 of us.
I had enough gold points that it cost me like $2.20.
Nice.
Nice.
I don't know why it was like 97% off the retail price, but I was like, took forever to download and update on the Switch, but I started it. But I mainly played Dunk Lords, which is only $10, and it's actually on sale for $8 and change.
Nice.
I think I'm enjoying it more, but I think this comes back to it's always the controller, and I'm not comfortable with the Xbox controller on my PC.
Okay.
And the 8-bit do work wonders. And then I tried a bunch of demos from Steam ran their Next Fest for post E3, basically for all the indies. I tried Sable. Unfortunately, my computer can't run it, but it's above the graphical requirements, so not sure if it's poorly optimized, and you just need Moose was able to run it. So I don't know if it's poorly optimized, but my impression, it felt like the original Tomb Raider.
Okay.
The movement where you're just going and the jumping,
it seems pretty cool.
Cool,
Jason asked me to download the demo and try it, and I did, and I'm like, I like this. I'd much rather play it on a controller, but I liked it enough where I'm like, I don't want to spoil the rest of the game, so I'll probably pick it up, later on to experience the whole thing when I can. But I was playing enough of it to test it for Jason, and it ran pretty good. Looks really good. I liked it, so it'll be something I'm looking forward to when it releases.
I watched others. I deleted a lot after 5 minutes.
Speaking of Sable, real quick, I watched someone from Uppercut stream it, and they were having issues with it as well. It was hitching, and so I think it might actually be the optimization. I think it might actually be
I think Moose's computer is probably way beyond it, so it's fine. Mine, the listing, I'm well within the range, but
yeah, you're right at the threshold.
I think I'm beyond it, but anyway. I tried a bunch of others. Deleted some immediately. They just weren't for me. I tried that Death Trash. I know Moose knows about this one. He saw it's weird. It's
the post-apocalyptic RPG.
It plays like early Fallout, like the original,
like 1 or 2.
Yeah, like that, with the isometric, but you have dialogue. There's combat. It's gross though. I don't know how to Like one door opened only when you inputted biological matter. So my character literally puked, picked it up, and put it in the machine.
All right. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But I have about 40 installed still to go through that I hope I can get to before they remove them. Which I don't understand why they. I think everything should have demos. I don't really understand. I guess from the standpoint you want people just to buy your game, but
Yeah.
it's weird to me on Steam because Steam, actually most of PC games have a very generous refund policy.
Right.
So I mean, it'd be easier to do the demo versus sure I could shell out $60, but then it's like within an hour, I don't like this. Steam like, okay, refunded. I mean, you have a 2-hour window, so it's not like if you can't tell by 2 hours. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably the one sort of holdover that, like, I know Sony doesn't really have a refund policy,
they
right?
got like one a lifetime.
And then I don't know what Xbox does.
And Nintendo does it.
Nintendo's like, nope, you bought
No,
it. Fuck
once
you.
you give Nintendo your money, they don't give it back.
Yeah.
If you're willing to stay on the phone long enough with Sony, and by long enough, like 4 to 5 hours, they're like, we can issue a refund, but remember, this is the only one you get for your lifetime. You're eligible again in 1,000 years.
Cool.
Choose one.
Marcus,
So
kill
close.
yourself.
I mean, 999,300.
So close. Got it marked on the calendar when my next one is. But,
see you when Futurama is present tense.
Yep, that's about it.
I'd go because short and sweet. Played more WoW. Tried to beat the last golf course and golf story, and RNG just doesn't like me. So still trying. I took a break from it and then came back to it, and I went into the last hole with like a -2 and came out with a +1. So I was like, of course that would happen. I'm like, all I have to do is have like, I think I had to have like a 0.
You had to
have guy
have
behind me having
you had to just finish the hole, and you did it in extra 3 strokes.
right. So, anyways, gonna try and polish that off sometime this week. But so they announced WoW's next patch, which is next Tuesday. So I'm trying to get my renown to 40 because the cap is being on the renown is being raised to 80, and at level 45 we get flying in Shadowlands, which will be extremely helpful when just traversing the world. But so I've been messing around with that and just getting a lot of transmog stuff. And then today, Matt and I played some Monster Hunter Rise,
Yes, we
which
did.
is nice. That was a lot of fun.
That
and
was.
got my character in the level or tier 4, star 4 quests. So now it's just like
Welcome to
through
high
those,
rank.
Yeah, in the high rank, and now it's just trying to get better gear, to take on different stuff in that. But other than that, that's been about it. So
A lot of the monster pool changes in high rank, and a lot of the high rank monsters are just a lot more fun fights. So yeah,
nice.
Hopefully we can do that a little more because that was a lot of fun. Michaela, you want to go next?
Sure. I played stuff this week for a change. Look at that.
And she back, and she back, and she back.
It was not as much as I would have liked. I played 3 different games, but they were all because 2 of the 3 were demos, so it's fairly short stuff. I didn't have as much time for gaming as I would have liked because most nights last week, like Wednesday through Friday, I was working till 9 o'clock, and then I worked on Saturday as well. Yeah.
Brutal.
Yes, it was. But I played the Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin demo when it finally did start working because they did fix that. It lasted me, one playthrough of it lasted me about 3 hours, like fully exploring, sticking my head everywhere, looking for stuff, trying to level up some of the So they give you different job classes to play around with. So you start with like a warrior type class and a mage class, and then you get a like a lancer class. And these classes, they each have skill trees, and you can progress the skill tree and upgrade them to the next type of class. So like a black mage, or I forget what the warrior turns into. It's like a heavier type of samurai warrior thing. And then of course the lancer evolves into a dragoon. So I'm gonna be exploring that.
Dragoons are awesome.
Dragoons are awesome.
I think when I play that game, I'm going to play as a dragoon and just play it absolutely wrong just to frustrate you.
Well, when you do this, so something that they do is you can have 2 classes equipped at any time, and you just tap a button and you can switch classes on the fly. It gives you iframes, the different classes, their weapons and their different abilities, elemental, magic, whatever, will be a key for striking weaknesses to stagger and damage foes. So you'll be class switching a lot.
Okay.
One thing I want to say about this game, because everybody's calling it FF Souls, right? It's Neo, it's Final Fantasy Neo. This game, fun fact, and I don't want to hear it from here on out, is not actually a Souls-like. I discovered this when I played it, because there is no Souls mechanic. There is no Souls mechanic. You don't drop your experience when you die. You just kill stuff and level up as you go. You're not pouring it into different like stats or whatever. You just level up by killing shit. You don't drop it when you die. This is not actually a Souls-like.
So it's a Remnant-like. Gotcha. Cool.
Don't. But it is very heavily influenced by Neo. A lot of the weapon animations, you can tell like, oh, this is reused assets from Neo with like new flair on them. Like you'll recognize some of the patterns of the movement. Also, the menus look very Final Fantasy VII. It's like they took 2 different engines and put them together, but it is not actually a Souls-like. It is a tough as nails action RPG for sure. But I don't want to hear FF Souls. Don't want to hear it. It is inaccurate. It is not actually how the game is played.
You realize by saying you don't want to hear it.
Guess what you're
I'm gonna hear it.
Oh yeah, you're gonna hear it. I mean, you're probably not going to hear it from us, but you're going to hear it.
Oh, I know.
Disappointed she's not going to hear it from us.
Yeah, the internet is a wide pool of disappointment. I expect this. But I actually, when I tweeted about the game, I described it, and this is what I think is very accurate. It is an action RPG set in the Final Fantasy universe that is, the gameplay is like a combination of Neo and Sekiro, actually, rather than Souls.
Okay.
Because you also don't have a stamina bar, but what you do have is like a break stagger bar, kind of like you do in Sekiro, where you keep hitting stuff and you see that bar filling up at the bottom of the screen and it gets wider. Then you're trying to break through by parrying and stuff like that. Very similar, but instead of building up, it builds down. So like you start with a full bar of stagger essentially, and getting hit breaks it more and more, and if it goes all the way, you snap and you're very vulnerable for a second. There's also a risk reward mechanic in this, because the parry in this game, it's like a soul burst or whatever the fuck, is on the circle button.
Is it a key burst?
No,
Okay,
because there's no stamina. So so what you do is you can sacrifice part of your stagger bar to attempt to parry stuff to restore your MP. And it's a very much a risk reward mechanic. I'm actually going to drop, I don't know if you guys saw this, but what I did for part of my 3 hours, so I spent an hour just fighting the boss, Garland, at the end of the demo. And the video I just put in the chat is what I uploaded to Twitter. It is me showing people what this parry mechanic looks like. I learned how to do the first phase of the boss hitless because I'm annoying. You'll see.
I don't know if that makes you annoying.
Yeah, you'll see like these red orby things come out. So he attacks me, I tap circle, you'll see red orbs come out, and his attack does no damage to me, but it builds his, or takes away from his stagger bar. And if you break his stagger bar, you can do like a circle, like special move attack that will get rid of the rest of his health bar for that phase and then take you to the next phase. So it's very much a risk reward system. You also have abilities where, like, if you use your parry on certain abilities, you can steal that enemy's ability for a short time. So like there's like the traditional Final Fantasy bomb characters. If you absorb one of their fire attacks, you'll get like 3 fire attacks of your own that you can then fire at them and cause them to self-destruct, stuff like that. So you can absorb certain moves from enemies. And there's just a lot of room to experiment with builds here, with different play styles. Like you don't have to do all of this parrying. There's other ways to get through it. Like I was playing as that typical warrior class. I've got a big ass great sword. But you could also do other stuff with the dragoon and the mage to try and hit elemental weaknesses and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot of experimentation. It gave me that like beating in your chest when you're so close. The boss has like 1 hit left, like that adrenaline rush that really tough, really good action games give you. So I'm very excited for this. And I also, one other thing I don't want to hear anymore, besides the FF Souls thing, because it's not a Souls mechanic game, is that this looks like a PS3 game. That has been the tagline of media outlets and influencers on social media since this game was revealed officially, is that it looks like a PS3 game. Please go look at what a PS3 game actually, like look at original Demon Souls and then look at what this game looks like. You sound like an ungrateful twat. It is not a PS3 game. Okay. Yes, it is a development build. It's going to get more polished, but, and I did have some frame drops when I was playing it for sure, especially towards the end of the demo, at the end of the content. I was experiencing a couple frame drops here and there that were visibly noticeable, but this does not look like a PS3 game. And then when I would see that comment, they're like, yeah, but what do you expect? It's the Neo devs and Neo doesn't look good. Just insert me bashing my head against a wall. I'm like, since
Neo looks good.
Look
What
like
are you talking about?
Neo looks great. Like, well,
Yeah.
but see, I think it's also the case of, I would be more than willing to bet that if you examined the people saying this, they probably have a preference in console. And like, look, I played a lot of PS3 games that look good solely because they were on PS3, not because the PS3 versus Xbox 360. Like, I wouldn't want to play them now. I wouldn't want to play them now because like because the human experience is a funny thing. When you have experienced more, or you move past things, or things don't really wow you anymore. Like, for example, when you're talking about something that was very, fucked up for you, it might not be fucked up for someone else because they've experienced more fucked up shit than you have. Your own experience is not the definitive one. Again, like we keep saying,
dear gamers. Dear fucking gamers.
I have a question.
Yep.
Where do you choose who you play as?
So Jack is the set protagonist, but so there was an interview this week. They did confirm that those 2 party members we saw in the trailer and you play with in the demo are not the only available party members. There will be more characters.
But do you have any control over them, like a gear or?
So far, I don't think so, but it was a demo build. Okay. But they did say that there's multiple different party members, so I don't know what, like, if you get to choose who you play with, or
I
what
wonder if it's like a buff thing, like you take these 2 and you get like more attack power. You take this one, you get attack speed, or Okay.
So
this party member will actually heal you and save you from dying.
Yeah, for the most part, they were mostly damage sponges for me. I let them get Shrek'd when I needed a minute. They do go down. They do have a health bar. They do go down, and you can revive them with a potion. But I was like, fuckers, I've only got like 5 or 6 of these. They're for me. Sorry, you're staying down. They do stand up eventually after a timeout period. They will get back up on their own. So really not worth wasting the pot on them. So
yeah, isn't that like, wasn't that the same thing in Neo 2 eventually? If you had,
I don't remember if they eventually get up though.
I remember if you had,
you didn't spend an elixir to pick them up though. You just had to hold circle and not get hit while you were doing it next to them. But yeah, so the demo was very promising. There's definitely some stuff that they could improve. Again, it was a demo build. I filled out my survey. I did my citizens due diligence, where, I think the gameplay is going to shine in this. I don't necessarily love the aesthetics. I talked about this when they revealed the game. I'm tired of this emo boy, Hot Topic, grunge band bullshit. But moving on, I played 2 other things and I'm taking too much time already. Stranger Paradise, I got my eye on. I'm more hopeful than the internet is, per usual, so everybody can fuck off and eat my farts. But the other demo I played was for Scarlet Nexus, and I played it twice because there's 2 characters that play differently and have different stories. So you're not replaying the same mission even when you play the different characters. Fun fact. This game is releasing this week, and I'm getting it. And when I played it, not
Shit,
just
that game's releasing this week.
yes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Okay.
But try the demo.
I want to, yeah.
Yeah,
The game looks so good. Oh my god.
it looks anime as hell, but what I wasn't expecting gameplay wise, what I felt, so of course it's got the aesthetics that kind of cued me into this a little bit already. But when I started playing it, it's got an Astral Chain vibe to it in terms of not just the aesthetics, but the gameplay. It's that kind of hack and slash where it's almost Platinum Games-esque.
Go on.
In that it's not, so there's basically Platinum Games hack and slash, and then there's other hack and slash where a lot of hack and slash falls into the trap of just being 1, maybe 2 melee buttons that you switch back and forth and mash constantly. Whereas Platinum, there's attacks on pretty much like half or all of the buttons on the controller at all times. This is that latter case where there's all different button combinations and different attacks, so you're not just spamming the melee button over and over again. Because you've got your psychokinesis attacks, which you can combo with your melee attacks, and melee is mapped to 2 different buttons, but you also have party members where they have all these abilities that you can borrow on a cooldown. So like one party member can set shit on fire, another party member can see shit that's invisible, another party member can phase through things, another party member is lightning themed, stuff like that. And you can borrow their abilities. And then sometimes a button prompt will pop up for you to have them do their own attack and stuff like that, all while you're dodging and comboing. It seems like a good system. I didn't even get at that too deep in it because I couldn't progress the skill tree that much, but there is a skill tree that deepens your combos and adds moves and does all this. So it's a promising hack and slash game. And I just got an Astral Chain vibe off of it from the way that I felt while I was playing it, which is very good in my book because I very much enjoyed that game for the gameplay and the aesthetics and the music and the mood. Not so much the story. The story kind of like at the end for me. I really didn't care. But so far I am enjoying Scarlet Nexus. Will it be my game of the year? I can already tell you no, but I'm going to enjoy it and play it and have fun with it. So I'm excited for that. Music's pretty dope. When I beat the demo for the first time, this like live music started playing, and I didn't realize that they got this song from this band called Oral Cigarettes. It was a jam. So I went and I downloaded the album, and I've been working out to it because I went for my first run/walk in the area this weekend when the weather was nice yesterday, and I also went and checked out the gym that they have on premise here, and I was listening to Oral Cigarettes, and it's kind of a bump. So
Nice.
I like the music. I like the aesthetics of the 2 characters. So there's Yuito, and he's kind of more like your typical anime protagonist, teenage boy, kind of clueless and sweet, but clearly destined for greatness, despite, his norminess as hell. And he's your melee standard guy. And then Kasane, who is so tsundere, it's not even funny. Is like a lighter range DPS type of something. I don't even know. But they both clearly have independent stories. So I don't know if this game's going to have a lot of like replay value or what, or if you're going to be switching characters for different segments. I don't know how it's going to work. I'm interested to find out. I recommend whoever's even slightly interested in, this weeby as hell Platinum Games-ish game, try the demo. It's free, it's there, and if you play the demo, you get items for the full game. So I don't know what they are yet, but I got one for completing each character's thingy.
So not your game of the year, so you obviously hate it.
Yes, obviously. 5 out of 10.
Yeah. Garbage. that's really all I wanted to say. I was going to try and package in a question or something, but really, like you've only said things that make me want to play this game. So I've watched a lot of like the people that I get Monster Hunter tutorials from. They've been doing a bit on this game, and this game looks so good.
Yeah, it feels good too. So
hopefully I get some time with it.
yes, it feels satisfying. There's different enemy types too, and they're all weak to different things. So that's why you want to experiment and use your party members' abilities and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's fun to just kill shit. So.
Now, is this also like a platinum game where if you don't want to engage with a combo system, you don't necessarily have to?
Yeah, I guess, but why wouldn't you?
I mean, sure, but like there are people with, let's just assume there are people with lives and obligations that don't have time to memorize all that stuff, so they could just basically just keep like that's one thing I love about platinum games specifically is you can just learn the basic buttons and get through games.
Yep. Yeah. It also has an easy mode. It
Yeah,
has easy mode. Something I didn't mention that you just reminded me of, by the way, that Stranger of Paradise has difficulty modes, including an easy mode. By the way,
Nice.
fun fact, I didn't mess around with it to see how big of a difference is. I've heard that hard is very hard. I played on normal, just because I wanted to experience it the way it was probably intended to be experienced the first time. But yeah, fun fact, difficulty modes exist.
And spoiler alert, hitless Stranger of Paradise mode coming upon release from Michaela.
I only did
Stay
the first
tuned.
half. Yeah, literally, I got to the point where I had just run it and run it and run it. I could do the first half of the fight hitless 75% of the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Within an hour of just fucking around with Garland. We had fun. We bonded.
Nice.
But yeah, so those are the two demos I played. The third thing I played is the thing that I've been waiting to play, which is I finally started FF7 Intergrades DLC called Intermission for Yuffie. This is like a 5-hour story that I could have technically beaten if I had not fallen into the trap of mini games.
It happens to the best of us.
So we knew from the trailer that at least
You
one
say
of these
trap.
Oh, it's a trap. It's a trap.
I say sometimes, there are plenty of games. There are plenty of times where mini games are just fun.
I didn't meet, so the way the DLC, we knew this from the trailer, you play as Yuffie and you have one party member named Sonon. I didn't meet my party member till after playing for 3 hours and 15 minutes because I only did mini games and didn't progress the story to even the point of meeting my other character.
Nice.
Pulling a Jason
in a
out there.
5-hour story, I spent 3 hours before meeting the other character.
Good. Spend your time, stretch out, just enjoy yourself, relax. So, it's your world to wander around, y'all.
Sonon can fucking wait. I don't need no himbo. I'm gonna play Fort Condor, so that's what I did. So Fort Condor in the original FF7, after you leave Midgar, Fort Condor is one of the first areas that you can find on the world map when you get to the big overworld map, and it's a completely optional area. And it was kind of like a tower defense mini game already, where you tried to defend Fort Condor, and these enemies would crawl up the mountain, and you had to place different units to try and kill them and whatever. So they turned this into like a board game that you can play, and you can find other NPCs who will play against you, and you have to ascend through the ranks to play better and better players until
Final Fantasy VII got its Gwent.
Pretty much.
Wow.
And it's Fort Condor, and it's fucking great, and I had a blast. It's so dumb. Literally, it's just like you get different boards that give you can either have like 5, 6, 7, 8 units, and there's different speeds and different material on each board, and you can try to pick your different units. And there's classes of units where there's ranged, vanguard, and defense units, and like ranged is good against defense units, but vanguards are good against ranged units, etc. So you got to look at what your opponent has in their deck, stack your deck, and then you have a time limit to try and take out their base. There's like 2 outposts and a main base, and whoever has the least outposts left standing or loses their main base loses. And if it's a tie, it goes to sudden death.
I've never played Warhammer, but everything you just described just strikes me as what I perceive tabletop
Like a
Warhammer
beanie.
to be.
Like a beanie baby RTS.
Yeah, like I've never played tabletop Warhammer, but like I've seen people playing it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is well beyond my comprehension.
Like, it's like baby's first RTS for Condor.
Oh, so it's like Into the Breach. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But and so I got the trophy for finishing that because that's all I did at first. And of course, the fucking grandmaster of the league is fucking Chadley. Fuck Chadley.
I don't know who Chadley is.
Chadley is a new character they created for the remake. In the base game, he gives you like VR missions where you fight the summons and can get their materia. And he gives you different missions like that. Chadley. I just hate him because his name is Chadley.
I mean, honestly, Chadley is a name of a person that I kind of, sight unseen, I kind of want to be like, they suck. It's just
fucking Chadley, man. But yeah, so I did that. I did eventually progress through. There's 2 chapters to the DLC. I did progress through the first chapter of the DLC, but I was literally like, I walked into the town and I just saw like the members of Avalanche. And I literally just stopped and stood behind the group and just listened to them talk because there's just like random NPC dialogue going on. And then I realized, oh, this is before all the bad things happen to you. And I just had an emotional moment. But for some reason, when you try to go into the bar, Seventh Heaven, the game literally blows you back. It's not even an invisible wall where the door doesn't open. It literally hits you with wind and says, go away. And like, it's weird. But I did progress through chapter 1. The combat is good with Yuffie. She's not my favorite fighter. Tifa's still going to be my favorite fighter at the end of the day, followed by Cloud. But it's good. Her aerial combat's really good. I like the way they made so you can't control your other character, unlike in the base game where you can switch between whoever's in your party, but you can give him commands and you can do link attacks together, which is really fun.
Nice.
And I don't know. The combat feels really smooth. By one issue. So the boss at the end of chapter 1 is a centipede. And I'm very done with this bullshit because I feel like this happens to me once a month.
PTSD.
You know what? Final Fantasy VII, it's good. It's good for that reason and that reason alone.
Okay. Oh, I literally did this like 2 weeks ago with East Origin as well when we did that episode. It's always a fucking pede. I don't know why, but I killed it.
Nice.
And then I made it to chapter 2 where there's Scarlet, and I really can't wait to punch her in the face. Literally, because FF7, the original Tifa and Scarlet have a bitch slap fight. So that better happen in the next game.
Sweet.
Yes. Literally, it's a mechanic. You have to time it to slap her repeatedly. It's great.
Awesome.
Because she's a bitch. But the last thing I kind of want to say about this DLC, I have not beat chapter 2 yet. I am working on that, but I found another mini game, so TBD.
Tune in next week on Story Route
Enjoy it
Zero.
while you can. It's only DLC.
Yeah, I am going through all the trophies, which means I do need to replay the story on hard mode because it's Final Fantasy. But the one thing I did want to say about this is, while it is probably not the absolute definitive, like pushed ultimate cutting edge of all #1 graphics on the PS5, fuck, this is the prettiest game that I have played on the PS5. Like maybe Ratchet and Clank beats it in terms of the technical categories, but
Sure.
they made like even just like the jump from when I played this game on PS4 last year to playing the PS5 upgrade now. Holy fuck. This game has no business looking this pretty. The lighting, the textures, the details. I've got it on a 60 frame rate second, like it's on performance mode. It looks so good. And Square is
Nice.
feeling themselves, because one of the big complaints, like when people reviewed this game, they're like, the textures on Cloud's apartment door are so low res. Literally, Square tweeted a picture of the door and the textures were all redone. So this game has no
Nice.
business looking this pretty, but it does. So
Nice.
I'm happy. I'm gonna go keep working on that mini game, but I'm happy.
Nice.
And that's what I played.
Cool. I think we're to me now, right?
Yep.
I feel like it's been, so I real quickly, I finally got a streak of wins going in Binding of Isaac on PC. And it couldn't have come at a better time because I was getting to the point where I was like, maybe it's time to put this down again. Then I get 2 quick wins, and all of a sudden, I'm like, nope, I'm good at this game again. And then I'm at a negative 15 streak. But that game, and I know that I'm the only one here with this level of affectation for it, but do any of you have a game that you play that brings you so much pain and you still keep coming back?
Dead Cells.
Yeah, but you've almost platinum that game at this point, just not on PS4. You've done it on PC, right?
No, I haven't finished the 5 cell thing. I can.
Okay.
I mean, I can, but I can't. I can, but I can't. Like,
Right. You can if that's all you do for a specific period of time.
like I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Dead. Okay, I'm done.
That was me when I did Dark Souls 3 challenge runs.
Yeah. I was at the PS4 at one point this week because I was going to try and do the Hitman Elusive Target, but I realized that I had missed it, which made me sad. But so I fired up Binding of Isaac because it's there. And Reba comes and sits down next to me. She's like, "What is it with you in this game?" I'm like, "This game is really fun." She's like, "But what's fun about it?" Moving the character around and getting in and out of these bullet hell situations is still really fun to me. I like that anytime I go into an item room, I get something that is going to effectively change how I have to play the game to a degree. A lot of the time, like for a long time, I would only get like damage buffs, which doesn't really require so much change. In fact, it probably makes you overconfident to a point. But then overconfidence, you'll step in a pothole and break your leg. But I was playing it, and then I'm like, see, like right now, I'm in kind of like a Zen mode. This is me talking to Reba. I'm in like a Zen mode because everything is sort of happening. I'm playing as my favorite character, Azazel. I've gotten a bunch of damage upgrades. I've got a couple of familiars with me that are just doing phenomenal work in terms of getting rid of enemies in rooms and taking the boss health down. In fact, the only problem I have right now is I have Curse of the Blind, which basically means any item that is able to be acquired, you can't tell what it is. It's just a question mark. And I'm just seeing Michaela and Moose just look incredibly bored. But so
I did.
I'm kidding.
It's like that's a debuff that sucks.
Yeah, it blows. But
I'd be like, okay, I'm done.
So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm in an item room. I'm on the final level to where I fight, not like final level, but like I'm about to fight Mom. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick up this item, and I pick up the item that fucks me. I pick up the item, and I know that some people will defend antimatter as a nice little fun idea, but when you are deep into a run, antimatter sucks. And what it does when you're Azazel, Azazel you have to charge in order to fire. So, and when you charge up to fire and you let go, so you do fire, it doesn't fire out of your mouth. It basically drops a little temporary turret that will fire your your blast. And you have to plan your firing to a point where it'll time perfectly to unleash when the enemy is there. Otherwise, you are just spinning your wheels. And I had to do that with the mom fight. And if you've ever fought the mom fight in Binding of Isaac, it's not the most chaotic thing in that game, but early on, it's very stressful. And I ended up beating Mom that one, but I did not beat Mom's heart. So I did not get a victory. But Binding of Isaac, why do you do this to me? Please don't get angry. I'll be back later. And then I did play Monster Hunter with Moose, got him to high rank. That was fun. Sitting down and playing that game made me like I had to, while we were playing today, Moose, in my head, I'm like, man, remember video games? Video games are good, aren't they?
Yeah.
Even when we were getting our shit handed to us by these monsters.
Yes.
So that game is really fun. And I'm glad I was happy to be back in it. And I don't know if it was the same for you, Moose, but doing that rampage, I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing because it had been so long.
I had no clue. It'd been so long since I did a
so
rampage.
long.
I'm like, I'm surprised we even made it into the tier 3 without dying. Like, I'm surprised we made it past tier 1. But
yeah, like I just started putting stuff down and hoping. I'm like, I'm gonna try and not die.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was fun, and that was really it for me today. I did fire up Crusader Kings 3 briefly, but then I'm like, I'm going to be here a while, so I immediately minimized it, and I think I just went to bed. But that's everybody, and I think we can now go to where I wanted to go at the beginning of all this. And pick our backlog games.
All right. Matt, you're up first. You're on the clock. No, we're on the clock.
He just has to sit there.
I picked Void Bastards for Dumbo.
you read my mind.
Okay.
That was good.
I don't even have to vote.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm looking at it like, yeah, Void Bastards.
All right. Cool. So I'm playing
Void
Void Bastards.
Michaela, I choose.
Well, wait, you started this one, so Matt gets to pick now. Because you started out.
I was just going across.
Oh, okay. No. I meant like you said I choose, like you were gonna pick the game.
Yes.
I meant Matt should pick the game now because you had first choice last time. I'm just trying to, yeah.
I know what y'all are thinking. Matt's gonna come here and really advocate for Atelier Ryza because he doesn't know anything about that series and wants someone to play it. I'm not doing that today. I want her to play River City Girls.
Knew that's where it was going.
All right.
I'm down with that too.
River City Girls it is.
All right.
And that's for my beat 'em ups challenge. So thank you guys.
Now,
And you have co-op players. Let us know.
Yes.
we
I
have
got
that,
it on
Matt,
PlayStation.
right? Yeah.
I think I have it downloaded on the PS4 already.
Sweet.
So.
Let us
Sweet.
know.
I'll play that
We'll
in
roll
bed.
with you.
Ooh, comfy. Nice.
Nice.
Right,
We'll be
Michaela?
like, why is she over in the corner getting her ass kicked? You're just like snoring through the mic. All right, time to shut it off.
Okay, what do you want Jason to play, Michaela?
I'm looking at Disco Elysium.
Yeah. Motherfucker won't play Persona. Make him play another game where he has to read.
Wow.
Except there's voice acting now.
Damn.
So
Damn, that's a shot. Shots fired, man.
Okay. So the only argument I really have against Disco Elysium is Transistor.
But we already made him do Pyre, so I'm trying to give him a break a little bit.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
College didn't teach me to read well.
What?
Nothing.
We're agreeing on all of these tonight. That is unusual for us.
Moose. Ape Out.
Ape Out.
You guys are making this too easy.
8-Out's really good, and Moose should play it.
Sure.
It's a really. I mean,
It is good.
Speaking of beat 'em ups, 8-Out's a really good beat 'em up.
Yeah. I think I got 2-3 levels in, so it'll be nice to go back and finish it.
Finish it. Finish the fight. Soundtrack's really good too.
Very good. Now we're gonna go through the news real quick.
So Nintendo
That's it, everybody. Goodbye.
Nintendo did a thing.
News happened.
Are we
Goodbye.
doing Nintendo first or last?
Yeah, I'm gonna do Nintendo first.
Okay.
I'm gonna fly through it. It may or may not be in the order it was revealed, but if you want me to stop, I'll stop.
Okay.
The newest character in Smash is Tekken's Kazuya Mishima.
Did anybody have that on their bingo card?
No, but that's cool.
The new Life is Strange will be out on Switch, as well as Life is Strange Remastered, which I believe includes everything so far. And that'll be this. Did it get a date? I think it was September, or did it
It's Life is Strange Remastered is the first game and Before the Storm, not Life is Strange 2.
right. And
Okay.
but Life is
Yeah.
Strange 2 will be.
I think they said 2021. They didn't give a date for that, but they gave a date. I remember seeing a date for the Life is Strange 1.
Okay.
Or the, the
They
pack,
said September
the remix.
30th for the other consoles. I don't know if Switch is later.
Guardians of the Galaxy was announced as being on Switch, and the fine print on that is it is the cloud version.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of curious, like to talk to anyone who's played any of the cloud version games, how they run, because we have
Yeah,
Hitman. There's something else.
Control.
Control.
Isn't that how The Witcher ran?
That's how
No,
Plague Tale is
Witcher's-
going to be.
Witcher was straight up.
There were
Card.
several
Card.
games that were announced at E3 that are going to be cloud versions on Switch.
What was the one you said, Michaela?
Yeah, Plague
Plague
Tale,
Tale.
Requiem is going to be the cloud version for
Yeah.
Switch.
Worms Rumble was announced.
Good old Worms.
Astria Ascending.
Looks dope.
Yeah,
I think that might have been the first time. Did we just get that release date?
I
Or did
believe
we already
so.
have that? Yeah.
2 Point Campus. The
Mhm.
2 Point Hospital universe.
Yeah, that could be fun. Building your own college.
That game looks dope. How everyone dressed up as a knight is going to night school. Come on, y'all.
Super Monkey Ball.
I think this is the first 2 Monkey Ball games,
Mm-hmm.
For the anniversary.
and people are happy because the Monkey Ball that has come out since has not been that great.
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
that's a good party game.
Speaking of party games, Mario Party Superstars.
The party game.
Yes, and it's
Then we got. See, I was confused as when Moose said it in the chat. Metroid 5.
That's what it said at first.
yep.
Metroid-
Metroid 5.
Yeah.
And then it's
Correct.
Metroid
It did.
Dread.
Yeah.
But it's not like Metroid 5 Dread. They're just calling it Metroid Dread. It's
Mhm.
weird.
Yeah.
Weird branding by Nintendo.
So apparently, this will finish the story told in Metroid, the original Metroid.
Yes.
What was the last one? Was it
Fusion was the last
Yeah.
one.
19 years.
It looks cool.
It was
Yeah.
dope. I love the new
Uh,
suit.
It looks really good.
Yeah, it does look good. I mean, I'll pick that up day
October?
one. Yeah,
October something?
I think like the
October 8th, maybe?
October.
Yeah.
The other thing I'll say on that is, fuck you scalpers already. Seriously.
Yeah, with the amiibos and stuff.
$250 for like
Yeah.
the amiibos and like
Mhm.
$300 for the collector's edition. Like, really?
Yeah.
Um,
Capitalism
Just
sucks.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Just Dance.
yay.
Maybe one day I will just dance.
They kind of did like sizzle reels here and there. Like, let's show a few things and then stuff. Cruisin' Blast, which I think is continue on the Cruisin' USA arcade drivers.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like an arcade racer. Price is right. I'll look at it.
Dragon Ball Z, Kakarot.
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 Come on, get on this weeb level.
Mario
It's
Golf.
Goku's actual name, Kakarot.
Mario Golf was shown off. That's coming out next
Is it next
This
week?
week.
4 days from.
Yeah.
They showed more of the modes, did they?
Mhm.
If I'm right, because I don't remember seeing those in the previous trailer, which was just an announcement
No,
trailer.
the previous trailer looked like an undecipherable mess, but fun still.
Yeah, right. So this
So
at least gave
Nintendo?
us like, well, yeah,
And this breaking out like the fact that there will be a traditional golf mode, and they made a survival golf mode. Like, I mean,
yeah, you have to like beat people
someone,
to the green. Yeah,
someone
like
who doesn't
I was
give
like,
a
that's pretty cool.
someone who doesn't give a shit about golf, like
Yeah.
this made me want to play some golf.
Yeah, it looks fun and entertaining. It kind of looks like everybody's golf,
Mhm.
or Hot Shots golf, but
Yeah.
with Mario or with Nintendo characters. So that'll be cool.
They showed off more Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Which that game looks pretty.
It does
for
look
what it-
good.
It
Couple
looks
more
pretty.
weeks for that,
It
about
looks
a month.
pretty for what it is.
We're getting a new WarioWare.
Which is cool because I haven't played the previous one, so I'm
It's
excited.
heavily rumored, like in the days leading
Yeah.
up to this.
Yeah, I saw some tweets and some posts about it possibly coming, so that's cool that it's coming.
Yeah, I've never played that series. I've watched people play it on Giant Bomb, and this seems like a really cool idea. It'd be something I could probably play with Reba a lot, especially since
Yeah.
it's co-op. There's a co-op element to it with this one. Like this, and each mini game is what, like 30 seconds. Like it's not
I don't know. I never
There's just
played WarioWare.
based on what I've seen on Giant Bomb. Like everything is like you do a
Sure.
thing once and you win, and you just have to keep winning in order to stay in. So and
Nice.
that interpretation might be completely wrong, but whatever. I will probably pick up this game.
A Switch exclusive SMT5.
Never heard of it.
SMT5 looks good. Finally,
Does
we
look
got a
good.
full real trailer for this shit. Looks dope. Looks anime as hell. It'll be my first SMT game. I think. I don't know. I don't think I'll get to Nocturne before then. November 12th for us. 11/11 for Japan. 11/12 for us.
They announced the Danganronpa collection.
Mm-hmm. I might actually play it on Switch.
Didn't
I don't
someone
think I
put
have
out
any
like,
of it.
I saw somewhere that someone put out, I think it was limited run, they put out a collection physical today too. I could be wrong though. Or maybe
Wouldn't
that's
surprise
this.
me.
Maybe that's this. Maybe that's this.
A new Fatal Frame.
Which is interesting, but cool. That's cool.
Classic.
Okay, nice.
Classic.
Who did
Sure.
Fatal Frame?
They showed off Doom Eternal's The Ancient Gods DLC, which is now coming to Switch. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, which we already knew. They just showed off more. A surprise, I didn't realize Strange Brigade is coming to Switch, which is really cool.
Which is
Yeah.
that's really cool. That game's fun. That game's really
Mhm.
fun.
Showed off more of Mario plus Rabbids, the sequel.
Mhm.
Which makes me happy.
We are getting Advance Wars 1 and 2.
Which
On
is
the
nice. Hopefully sales are good and it promotes them making another one. So, like a new one, I mean.
Yeah.
In the series. That's what I was trying to say.
Like I've never played these games. I've heard nothing but we need this back, and it's amazing.
I heard like really good things about
yeah,
it.
like
So
I'm really excited to be able to engage with it on a level because that trailer looked good.
And then we got a slew of Zelda news. Hyrule
I wouldn't call it a
Warriors.
slew.
There was,
A smattering.
two things.
what define slew? I mean, there was 4 things. Is that a slew or is it smattering of 4 things?
Smidge.
Okay.
Now you're just being difficult.
I know. It's fun.
Hyrule Warriors, the DLC, the season pass. So Wave 1 released last week on June 18th. And Wave 2, I don't remember the date. I didn't write it down.
I don't remember the date either.
There's some more Skyward Sword.
Mhm.
Game and Watch was announced, which is the original
Mhm.
2. The what was the other one? I don't even. I
Like
know.
a
The Game Boy
whack-a-mole
one.
game.
The Game
Yeah,
Boy
the Game
one.
Boy one. That's in
Oh,
November.
yeah, Link's Awakening,
Yes.
isn't it?
Link's Awakening. Yeah.
And then there was like a fourth game, which is like a
Which is just
Game
for
and
that.
Watch, but
That's
with
the
the
Game and
skin.
Watch.
yeah.
That comes
Yeah,
with. Yeah.
I can't wait for that to come out, and then all of the hardcore Zelda timeline things go. Whack-a-mole fits here in the timeline.
I pre-ordered mine. I can't wait.
Of course you did.
I love my Mario Game and Watch. I beat
Yeah.
Super Mario 1 now like once a month.
Nice. Where do we stand, just like us four, on Skyward Sword?
Probably gonna pick it up.
I've
Yeah.
never played it.
I've
As
never.
a diehard Zelda fan, I am offended by this. No.
You can't even
Wait a
say
second.
A diehard Zelda avoider.
I
Wait a
am
second.
not. I am not
Wait a
an
second.
avoider. I own Breath of the Wild. I just haven't played it yet.
I own a lot of games. That doesn't make me a fan.
Yeah.
I lived with a Zelda fan. I didn't need to also be a Zelda fan. She compensated.
I mean, fair.
I'd like to play it, but I'd play Link's Awakening before this.
Mhm.
Like I'm
Okay.
definitely more interested. I'm definitely lean. I would definitely play Link's Awakening way before Skyward Sword.
Okay. Because like I am definitely. I have my thoughts just because of how I experienced it originally, and I'm probably gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna get it release date just because money's weird and made up, and somehow we still need it. But all of the things Nintendo is doing to this release, like putting fast travel behind an amiibo. I'm hoping that there is something that comes out and saying, yeah, no, you actually don't need the amiibo to fast travel. I'm really hoping that something like that happens.
I mean, the only thing I'll say to that, and I agree, this is stupid. Technically, there was no fast travel in the original, but that said, it's still like, why? Like,
yeah.
and it's not like if it was like, not that it would be better, but if it was like $5, but this is a $25 amiibo. Like, it's actually it's a double in price amiibo to unlock this ability. Like, what?
Yeah, and are they going to keep this amiibo in stock? Because
yeah, that too. Like,
yeah, like
most amiibos.
Good luck. Have fun. I hope you have money because eBay ain't cheap. So I don't know. I really hope that there's something that comes out that like. And look, they fixed Wind Waker. They did a lot of things to Wind Waker to smooth out that experience. And I hope that there's some things being done to this as well.
This one had the motion control problems, or not problems, but they're basically
Motion controls never received well.
They did make those optional now, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they kind of like fix that, so hopefully that'll be.
Well, like with Twilight Princess, it was just like whenever you swung your sword, you basically just had to do a little wrist flick with the Wii, I think Wiimotes, is that what they're called?
Yeah, Wiimotes.
And with the Wii Motion Plus that they developed specifically for Skyward Sword, it over promised and under delivered. It was not nearly as easy as they made it out to be, and it was a little more in depth than it needed to be. I do like that everything. I thought it was a nice idea to make all of the enemies like puzzles in effect that way, but also like
Yeah.
they really needed to that motion control stuff needed to.
Yeah, I mean, I think
finish cooking.
in general, I think motion control is Nah, it's like 50-50. Some people
Yeah.
like it. Like I personally think I hate it
Mhm.
in anything. Like even if it works well, I
Sure.
just prefer like.
Yeah, I don't like
when
motion
we did
controls either.
Concrete Genie, I turned it off. Like I think
Yeah.
you can get used to it, but like sometimes you just don't feel like. And I think games that have the option, that's the way to go. Like, oh, I'll try it now. Nah, I don't like it. Nah, I'll try it. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and they showed Breath of the Wild 2.
hmm
Seems to be adding some verticality.
Which will be nice.
Well, technically, it's The Legend of Zelda unknown subtitle.
Correct. Because it could possibly reveal something they don't want to reveal now.
Yeah.
Like whether or not you're playing as Ganon.
Yeah, I saw that theory. Like the image of Link flying
What was
through the
the
air.
what was the theory that if you played that trailer backwards,
I don't.
there was some theory about playing that trailer backwards. I'm like, really? We're dark siding the moon. We're dark side of the mooning Breath of the Wild 2 all of a sudden.
Makes me want to
People are weird.
Yeah, 100%. People are weird. Breath of the Wild 2 looks dope.
It does look dope.
Yeah, I think it looks good. As soon as I saw like parts of the trailer where he started interacting with the world, I was like, "What is this like, Breath of Sekiro?" Because like his arm, it's got
Mhm.
something going on, and I'm like, "What? Like, what is this?" But
The
anyways,
Legend of Zelda,
you know,
Link lost an arm. But
Yeah,
you know, my first impression when I saw him in the clouds, I'm like, oh, the developers went, you know what this game really lacked, what Breath of the Wild really lacked? Verticality. So let's add more.
Mhm.
Like,
yeah.
we already had the most. Let's
Yeah.
have more than
I already
the most.
climbed mountains.
I mean, that's true. They had really good verticality in
Yeah,
Breath of
and
the
then they
Wild.
just like squared it or something. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
good for them.
But if they're gonna do Breath of Sekiro and they don't have a Makiri counter, you fucked up, Nintendo.
Well, there was some other news. Xbox had their extended show. They did show Hellblade 2. It doesn't.
She's not in the hole with
doesn't
Bayonetta.
Nice. Very nice.
It showed Forza. What else did they show? I didn't actually.
They showed. Hold on, actually, I have notes. Hold on. So yeah, they showed Hellblade, Senua. They said that they are working on moving through full production, whatever the fuck that means, and it's not a full sequel, but something extra special set in Iceland, 9th century. So it's a different setting. It's not in the same place where the first game was. There was Xbox Design Lab. Everybody was happy to see that again.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. And they announced that Plague Tale Innocence is getting a Series X and S upgrade on July 6th, which would portend, one would think, a PS5 upgrade.
Well,
as well.
They are getting a PS5 upgrade.
But the other rumor is
that the PS Plus title for PS5 will be Plague Tale.
We will find out if that
July
rumor is
6th
true.
Tuesday, the first Tuesday of July's releases.
Has anybody else played Plague Tale here? I forget. You did.
I played 3 chapters.
It was one of my favorite games. I think it's like in my top 5 that year.
Fucking great.
The game was great.
That is my favorite.
I need to play it.
That was one of those games that, like, you know what? I'll try this, and it just those two kids, man, their bond just took such a hold on me, and I'm like, yep. And then you spoil you anytime you get to go at the church in anything, I'm on board.
The music had me from moment one too. I love the music. That's one of my favorite top 10 OSTs for a video game of all time.
Yeah, that game, I don't know if I'd heard anything. It's Olivier Deriviere?
Oliver Deriviere.
Or Oliver Deriviere?
He's doing Dying Light 2. He did Greedfall. He's done actually a lot of stuff that
I don't like, and I didn't remember anything I had heard of theirs prior to that, but that soundtrack is striking.
That soundtrack is different because he did Greedfall in the same year, but it's very different. It's almost entirely like strings. That's what you hear, and the strings mimic the movements of the rats, but they also can be more melodic, and the chords can bring that like summery French countryside out too. So it's really cool. and really harsh and discordant at times. I don't know, dope as fuck.
Yeah, very
That's
good.
all I got to say about that.
And listenable outside of the game too. It really is.
Yes.
There is a PS5 beta for something.
System stuff.
It's probably stability, but I'm signed up to test it. Hopefully
So
I
am
get
I.
chosen for stability.
Yeah, so you have to sign up to be a beta tester, but that doesn't confirm that you will be selected.
In the beta. Yeah.
But they also didn't tell us what the test, like, sometimes they'll be like, we want to test connectivity. Like when you sign up for a games beta, they're like, we want to test connectivity on PC with X number of players. Nothing. They're just like, we're going to test some system shit. Would you like to sign up, please? Thank you.
According to a Bloomberg report, PSVR 2 should be out holiday 2022.
Nice.
The Medium, the Xbox exclusive, which we knew was PlayStation, it has a release date September 3rd. We might have mentioned last week, but Metro Exodus got the PS5 and Xbox upgrade treatment, so that's available for free if you own it.
Nice.
Final Fantasy IX is being turned into an animated
I saw this. I was like,
series.
what the fuck?
Yeah. I
I
saw
saw this
that.
after I sent you the news, Jason. I was like, what?
No, well, it was weird because it came out and people immediately said it was a rumor. Like there was only literally one article about it, and people
But no,
were
it's real.
questioning the veracity of it. But then finally, I guess it's been confirmed. And
Can I
last
make a confession real quick before we move on from FF9? It's a twofold confession. One, FF9 is one of the handful of mainline Final Fantasy numbered games that I have not actually played.
That
One of the
answers that
few-
question.
Yeah. So, and then the other part of the confession is, so Square Enix very periodically has sales on PlayStation and Switch. There was a Square Enix publisher sale during E3 on the Switch. I might have bought FF8 and 9. Even though I don't need to do that. But I did, and they're on my Switch now.
Now this is
So-
code for saying she actually bought Melody of Memory. You know.
No, I didn't.
that.
I can't. Jason hasn't bought Persona. No, he
do you
hasn't
mean
played
beat?
Persona. He hasn't played. Well, he doesn't even have to beat it. He just got to play a little bit.
Yeah.
I just gotta get through the first dungeon.
Really?
I'm
Well,
pretty sure we said make it to the second.
Yeah, you had to get to
Oh,
to
or
the second.
get to the second.
Yeah, so it's only 40 hours of gameplay. It's fine.
No, it's not.
I'm kidding.
Not gonna help us. And last but definitely least, Cyberpunk's back on the PlayStation Store with a disclaimer that you shouldn't play this on a base PS4.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Is it Pro or 5?
The only thing I don't understand from this announcement, people were like mad at Sony. It's like we did what we can. We took it off the store. Like
Yeah.
they want it back on. We're putting a disclaimer. Like
Yeah.
why are you mad at us? Like it's CD Projekt Red's problem. Like
Mhm.
they put this game out. Like it's not fixed.
They've done some stuff to it, but it's, yeah. Buy at your own discretion. And by the way,
Yes.
fun fact, just because it's back on the store and you want to be mad at it, doesn't mean that you need to buy it. Because
Right.
gamers, guess what? It's not all about you.
Moose,
Bye.
At Story Route Zero, we have some cool friends who do some cool things, and I'd like to tell you about them. Phoenix Overdrive uses the power of games and gamers to help heal sick kids through the charity Extra Life. Phoenix Overdrive fundraises for Children's Miracle Network hospitals all year, every year, and the fund culminates in a 24-hour gaming marathon. Find out more about their events and projects online via Facebook at facebook.com/Phoenix Overdrive or on Twitter and Instagram at PHX_Overdrive. You can also join the Facebook group of Pawn Stars at facebook.com/groups/PO Nation in order to share and discuss all the latest in nerd culture. They've also got a podcast, Nerd Overdrive, which you can see weekly at youtube.com/Phoenix Overdrive. You can also catch it on Facebook Live or twitch.tv/PHX_Overdrive. That podcast is also published on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. You want merch? They got merch. Merch can be ordered from tinyurl.com/PHXODmerch, a portion of which goes to their fundraising efforts. Join the nation and be a hero to sick kids, as El Capitan Rey Osorio, Lee the Maestro, and Becky, the lovely Queen of the Guild, always say, #Rise Above. Thank you for listening to Story Route Zero. We hope you have enjoyed your time here as much as we've enjoyed having you. Once again, questions, concerns, complaints, pictures of pets, or favorite recipes can be sent to storyroute0@gmail.com. You can yell at us on Twitter @StoryRoute0. Rate us and review us on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you may have found us, as it helps with discoverability. If you'd like to hit us up individually, you can find Moose Cool @Sven, that's SVHENN on Twitter, PSN, Instagram, and of course Twitch, streaming games. You can find Jason Marshall writing at obelisk.co. You can also find him on Twitter @GimpyJ with 2 Y's at the end, as well as PSN, Instagram, and Twitch. He also has his own website, whereisthepausebutton.com. You can find Michaela Crescione doing all sorts of writing at obelisk.co, as well as on Twitter @RedXMod. My name is Matthew Keel. You can find me everywhere I'd like to be @infinite_rewind. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's Twitch, that's PSN, and I also have my own website, infiniterewind.com. Be sure to check us out at all the places. You are always welcome, and you will always have a seat waiting for you on this ride. Thank you for listening, but for now, it's back to the real world for us. So we will see you on the next one.